Just because it's there doesn't mean it'll always be there. Let me say it again for the people in the back. Just because it's there does not mean it will always be there. What's up, y'all? It's Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. I would like to welcome you to Teachable Tuesday Shorts, where in 5 minutes or less, I do my best to talk about a topic that you guys came up with in the community or something that came to my mind. This is something that came to my mind, right? I was watching a sermon, and it was, I forgot the official title, but the message of the sermon was clarity, right? And there were two pastors on stage, and they were giving a sermon. By the way, they did an excellent job. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link below to the sermon in case you want to watch it. But they talked about how a lot of times God gives us opportunities, right? And what we don't realize is sometimes those opportunities are pretty common, but other times those opportunities are rare. When you think about the definition of rare or rarity, right? It's something of value that does not come across as often. And when I think about rare, one of the first things that I think about is shiny Pokemon, right? Anybody that's watched this channel long enough or know me personally know I'm a huge Pokemon fan. And while I don't play the games as much as I used to, I watch enough Pokemon YouTubers to be able to keep up with up-to-date information, right? So shiny Pokemon has been a thing since I was playing Pokemon back in Gen 2. And the shiny Pokemon is basically a different coloration, pigmentation, however you want to describe it, of a normal Pokemon. So for example, Gyarados. If you're a Pokemon fan, you know it's normally blue. Shiny Gyarados is red, and so on and so forth, right? Celebi is green. Shiny version of Celebi is pink. And, you know, again, the list can go on and on and on. And even the Pokemon anime has shown different alterations of shiny Pokemon, although some of them were not canonically correct, but even still. The thing that stands out about shiny Pokemon is what? It's the coloring. Ain't nothing else really special about that, but it's still special in the sense that it's different and it's set apart from the normal because it's not that many of them. In fact, to catch a shiny Pokemon in the general sense, a shiny Pokemon, a general Pokemon that's common, it's a 1 out of 8,500, or I'm sorry, 8,600 something chance. I can't think of the percentages right now, but that's a pretty low percentage, right? So why do I tie Pokemon, as far as the analogy, into this whole topic? It's because there are some people and opportunities in your life that are rare. And the problem with our society these days, as they said in the sermon, is oftentimes we think, and especially because we are what I like to call a self-entitlement society, we think that just because we've seen it once, we're gonna see it again. No, that's not necessarily the case. You might not get that opportunity back. And like I was just describing to someone earlier today, yes, it's true. I do believe that God is always going to look out for you. He's going to have your best interests at heart and so on and so forth. But a lot of times people believe, just like he said in the message, the pastor said in the message, they said, is it what's mine supposed to be mine? No, what God has for me is for me. That's not necessarily always true. And I agree with him 100%. The reason being is because, yes, God does have a plan for our lives. He does plan for us to prosper and so on and so forth. That isn't the Bible, by the way. But unfortunately, just because an opportunity is given to you doesn't mean it's always going to be there. Now, I always tell people all the time, every opportunity ain't your opportunity. But when it's a God-given opportunity, you better take advantage of it. Because if you don't, it's going to be a problem later on down the road. Right? I think about opportunities with people. I think about it with situations and so on and so forth. I think about me personally. I'm going to get personal for a second. How many times God has given me an opportunity when I screwed up and bailed me out. You know what I'm saying? In different ways. Financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And sometimes I took full advantage of the opportunity. And that, you know, sometimes opportunities can also come off as a warning of, hey, listen, this is your chance to get right with the get right. But we got to stop thinking that just because it came around once, oh, it's going to happen again. You think about that man or that woman that came around that was, and you've been praying for, a man or woman that treats you right, that treats you with respect, dignity, that honors you, and so on and so forth. And you don't know how to treat them, so you screw it up, and you think to yourself, oh, it's okay, I learned my lesson, they'll come back around. Not necessarily. First of all, that person ain't gonna come back around because God gonna bless that person with somebody else that will actually respect and hold them of value. And then secondly, you gotta understand there's not necessarily always good people in this world. There's some shiesty people. So it might take you some years to return, and that's even if you get blessed with an opportunity. Think about a job opportunity that you've been given it. You kind of bypass it because it just doesn't look like every single box that you would like to check off for a job, even though it checks off like 80%. And now guess what? You still stuck with the same job that you had before, or you stuck with no job at all, right? And also a lot of times when it comes to appreciating what you have and respecting rarity is also knowing that you might already be in that position to where you have something that's valuable. You have something that's rare, but because it doesn't look like what you think it should look like, you treat it like whatever. And let me tell you something, if God gives you something and you don't treat it right, best believe he will take it away from you, and he will not give it back until he deems that you are ready. And even then, you might not get that same thing back. And like I said before, it might be a while before you even get something similar to that back. I'm gonna give you one more thing. I remember that this summer, and I'm gonna be real with y'all, I've been tired. I have been tired this summer. I worked 2 jobs. And like literally after graduation, I went back to work. And I admit, there was a point in time where I was complaining a little bit. I was like, and I was even telling people all summer long, I was like, man, I ain't working next summer. Boom, 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 boom. And then I realized something after I watched this message. And it was like, Marcus, you doing all this complaining, and yes, you tired. Yes, you burnt out, and I get it. You deserve a break. Teaching is hard, y'all. But you know how many people would kill to be in a position that you're in? Yeah, you might not have it all together the way you want to, but Marcus, you have a rare opportunity that is not given to many people to get yourself back on track. You had 2 jobs this summer and still had a little bit of time to relax and create content and spend time with people and build new relationships and continue to build on old relationships and so on and so forth. That is rare. So I stopped complaining and I started taking inventory of the things that I did have. Sometimes rarity is not necessarily what you haven't encountered, it's what you already have. But we fail to realize it because we're so used to it. Oh, I'm so used to having 2 jobs so I can say whatever. No. You know how many people don't have a job in this economy? You know how many people lost a job this year? Bruh. I said, you know what? I'm done complaining. Thank you, God. I may be tired, but thank you, God. I got activity in my limbs, maybe a little bit sore, but thank you, God. I got beautiful people in my life. Thank you, God. I got a special someone that I was not expecting to come my way. Thank you, God. Appreciate your moments. And guess what? Even if the moment is not quote unquote rare, I still need you to appreciate it because at any given moment, it could be gone. All right? I know this is supposed to be a Teachable Tuesday short. Sorry, I got carried away, but I really hope this message encouraged somebody and helped somebody today. So Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Love you guys. Hope you have a great day, and best believe we'll be talking soon.